Hey everyone, welcome to my library. My name is Melissa, and today I'm going to be talking about Series September, which I am so excited about. This is a readathon that is hosted by two of my favorite booktubers, Krista over at Books and Jams and Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. So basically, the whole concept of Series September is to read any, there's prompts, but it's basically to just read a book in a series, whether you're starting one, continuing one, finishing one. That's the concept. But there are prompts. So there is a bingo board, which I'll show here. That is one that you can complete either on Instagram or, just write it in your own bullet journal. I wrote the prompts down just so I could think of books I wanted to read in my little friends-themed notebook here. But so there's 9 prompts, and this is going to be called my Series September possibilities list, because there is certainly no way I'm going to read all 9 of these books or prompts. I just do not read that fast. I do not read that many books in a month. And especially with the books I know I will still be reading towards the end of August and beginning of September. So I just know that I'm really realistically probably going to get to maybe 2 or 3 of these, but I did want to share them to get your guys' opinions and see if there are any that you are excited for me to read or really think I should try to prioritize. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first prompt is read a book in a series you haven't touched in a year. And this one I am very ashamed of because it is a series that I've been wanting to reread and keep going with. And I didn't think it had been a year since my last read of the previous series book. But here we are. It is a year later. I read it last July. And that is Anne of the Island. So I read Anne of Avonlea last July. Crazy. So anyways, I know I need to get to this series. It's actually, I made a separate list and a separate video actually. I'll link it below just in case you're curious, of the 10 series I want to continue or finish in 2021. And this was definitely one of the books on there to just continue in the Anne reread I'm doing. A very slow reread. It's not anything structured, just when I feel like getting to them. But this is my very beautiful vintage edition of it. You guys have definitely seen this on my shelves on Spotlight. It is literally one of my favorite books I own, especially I have 2. So I have this Anne of the Island, and then I also have Anne's House of Dreams. Both are beautiful, but there is something about how 50s makeup and how Gilbert's in the background and just how lovely I love this cover. So anyways, I'm definitely going to be reading out of this book if I end up getting to this series. It's a thinner book. It would not be hard to tackle. And I know it's one of everyone's favorites in the series, in the Anne series. And I know there's a lot of Gilbert content in this one. So it is one I need to get to. And it's a perfect fall book as well. Which September is the beginning of fall, as we all know. So yeah, there's many, many reasons why I should pick this one up. But yeah, this is definitely a possibility and fits the prompt for sure. Okay, so the next one is read a book in the most recent series you've started. So I went on to Goodreads because I was curious, because I do start a lot of series and I'm in the middle of a ton of series. And actually the most recent series I've started, and I'm very proud to say I'm 3 books in now, is the Bedouin Saga series by Mary Balog. So all of the titles start with slightly. So I always say slightly series, but it's actually the Bedouin Saga. So this is a very fun series, very Bridgerton-esque. If you're looking for something that is similar to that historical romance iconic series that everyone is chiming in about these days. But yeah, I'm in the middle of Slightly Scandalous as we speak. This is a compendium of 2 books. I don't really know why they did this for this hardback, but so yeah, I'm in the middle of Slightly Scandalous on audio. They're all narrated by my favorite narrator, audiobook narrator, Rosalind Landor. So they're such easy books for me to read. I just love her style. So Slightly Scandalous is the next book I would be reading, and I'm sure will be continuing in September. And then actually the next book in this series I'll talk about a little bit later after. It also fits another prompt in this bingo board. So yeah, so I will definitely be getting to this one though. So yeah, 100% we'll get to that one. Okay, so then the next prompt is start a series. So this one I also 100% will get to because it is the book I've picked for my Discord group. So yeah, it's every month basically I pick a new book for people in my Discord to read with me, and I create a new channel, and we just read it at our own pace that month and chime in our thoughts as we go. And so I decided to take a head start with it this month since I felt bad that some people were waiting on their books to get in or like shipped from various online platforms earlier in the month, and so they kind of missed out on some of the conversation. So I decided for this next book that we would start, I would start and announce it earlier so people could hopefully get it since it is an older book too. And that is Outback by Erin Fletcher. So this is the first book. That's why it fits the prompt. It's the first book in, actually, I'm not sure what series it's called. Shoot, I should have looked that up. I'm pretty sure it's just called the Outback series. But anyways, yeah, it's a family saga. And basically the first book follows this man who marries this woman who is native there, and their children, and I'm not exactly sure what else is happening with it, but I know he moves to Australia from Wales, and so starts this new life with her, and yeah, it's just gonna be a Australian adventure story compared to the Thornbirds, which is one of my favorite books ever. I'm super in the mood for an Australian book, so I picked this book for us to read together. Please join me if you would like. I always have my link to my Discord group down below. So yeah, so this will be the book I will definitely also be reading as part of the start a series prompt. So there's that one. Okay, the next one. The next one is the most daunting of all of the prompts here if I were to attempt it. That one is finish a series, and immediately I knew which book this needed to be for me to complete. It is also one of the top 10 series I need to continue with or complete in 2021. So it's on my radar. It's been on my radar. That is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. So this is number 3 in the Mistborn trilogy. So yes, I would finish the series if I would finally just commit and read this book. Are you really gonna read it? That's my husband. Yeah, I might. I don't know. I need to figure it out. He's reading The Wheel of Time right now, the Wheel of Time series, which is 14 books long, and they're thick books. They are seriously. So he listens to them on audio, and they're around 40 hours long on audio, and he will be completing a series and completing the 14th book this month, I'm sure. So if I don't complete a series, he will, and he can live through the prompt for me. He's side-eyeing me over there because he has read this whole series. I recommended it to him way back when, 3 years ago, when I was first watching BookTube, and everyone was talking about this series and how Brandon Sanderson is the best thing that's ever happened. And so I was like, hey, this might be a book you could be into. So then he read that book and loved it, read all three. Then he's read the Stormmaker series or whatever. Stormlight Archives. Now he's come in here because he wants to just give me crap.
Let's get the facts straight.
So he's read the Stormlight Archives, and also he's finishing Wheel of Time. So he's like all in with Brandon Sanderson. But anyways, I'm not quite there. I would love to know how this series ends. I remember how it actually ended in the second one, so hopefully it wouldn't be too bad for me to just pick this up. But we'll see. We will see. Okay, so the next prompt is read a book in a duology. So this was the hardest prompt for me to come up with a book. I don't particularly pay attention to if a book is part of a duology. I do if it's a series, obviously, but a duology is a very special kind of series. Hard to know, you know? But anyways, I finally thought of it. And that is actually a book I've owned for a while now because I do intend to continue and finish the duology. And that is The Diplomats Wife by Pam Jenoff. So this is the second book I'm not sure what the series is called, but it basically is the second book after Pam Jenoff's The Commandant's Girl, which is a book I read last year and truly loved. I don't know what it was about that book, but it has stuck with me for so long. I think about that book a lot, actually. It just had so many themes that I love in a book, and it just really made me think about who is good, who is not. Can you really say or generalize, stereotype someone as evil if they aren't, etc. Very, very intense book, but I loved it. So this is the second book in this series. This follows Marta, I believe. Yeah, so Marta, she is a side character, kind of a pivotal side character in the first book, but yeah, it follows her story after the events that happen at the very end of Commandant's Girl, which are very intense. A lot goes down. So yeah, this is a World War II historical fiction book, and I really love Pam Jenoff, so I know I would enjoy this one, and it would complete a series again, so win-win. Okay, so now the next prompt is read a book in a series that is longer than 5 books. I have so many books on my shelves that would complete this prompt. I was thinking about it, and I really do want to continue in series though for September. I don't want to start a ton of them, and so I was trying to hone in on just on series that I've already at least read the first book in, and so I narrowed it down to 3 for this prompt. And I will share them. Let's see which one I want to share first. So the first one is an obvious one. It is Demelza, the second book in the Poldark series. So yeah, I read the first one it wasn't last year, was it? Oh my gosh, it might have been. But I do need to continue, and I know I will love it. I really loved Poldark and Ross Poldark, and loved the TV show after I read the book. I read the corresponding episodes that link with the first book, and then I know I'm going to do the same for this book. It's a little bit of a thicker book as far as that series goes, but I'm excited to read it. So yeah, this would be a great possibility for the longer than 5 books prompt. The next one is a series I binged last year up until book 8? And then I just stopped. I don't know what it was. I think it was that I had such high expectations for book 7, and then they weren't that great. It was just kind of a mediocre book in my opinion. And so I haven't continued, but it is a series I really do want to complete. And that is the Kate Daniels series by Alona Andrews. So this is Magic Shifts. So I do believe this is book 8. One sec, let me look in the thing and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, and there's 10. So it's not too bad. I mean, I would get so much closer to finishing the series. And I have been in the mood for a little bit of a paranormal fantasy kind of book. This would be a perfect precursor to October and to Halloween, if I could get to this. And I do really enjoy the romance in this book, the romance between Kate and Curran. It's iconic. I love it. Every single book, they kind of build on their relationship. It's a definite slow burn over time romance. And then also it shows what trials they go through as they've decided to commit to each other and the repercussions of that. And so it's a great series if you're really into looking at a power couple over multiple books. I highly recommend for that. And anyways, I thought the number 7 was, I know it was a favorite of a booktuber I was watching, and I was really excited about that. And then I read it and I really just was disenchanted by it. I don't know why, but it definitely put me off to reading the next one quick afterwards. So it's about dang time I finally commit to another book in this series, but we'll see if it happens this September. So there's this one. The other one for this prompt is a very obvious choice and one I would be very excited about to continue with. And that is A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Gabaldon. So this is number 6 in the Outlander series. It is so reflective. But yeah, so this is number 6. And I read number 5 just recently, it feels like. I think it was in May though. June. Loved it, and just know I would love the next book. It is so thick though, so if I ended up picking this up, it would definitely be one that continued on into October. But I know I would enjoy it, and I would just be here for the ride, for the romances in the 2 different couples that are the main players in the story. And yeah, it would just be a great time. And I could get closer to finally, getting towards being caught up with this series. I know the new one comes out in September. So there's going to be a lot of hype around that, I'm sure. Definitely will not be getting to it because I have so many books to catch up before I read that one. But it would be nice to just keep on with this series that I love so much. So yeah, here's the last one in that prompt. Okay, so we have 3 more prompts to go, but I don't have multiple books for each of these prompts this time, so don't worry. Okay, so the next prompt is read the second book in a series. So this one is one that I had on my books I feel like reading this summer video. And it is one that I do want to continue with. I really enjoyed the first book and just need to actually read the second one. And that is And One Were Gray by Heather Graham. So here's the step back, by the way. I love this step back. I just love it. So this is the second book in her, what is it called besides just And One Were Blue series? It's her Civil War trilogy, essentially. So it follows a family, so a family of siblings. The first book followed, oh my gosh, I literally just forgot his name. Jesse, that's right. Jesse Cameron and his romance, and he was a Union soldier who fell in love with a Southern belle, essentially, and their tempestuous, crazy romance. It was wild, but I really enjoyed the historical element, and I really enjoyed Heather Graham's writing. That was what really stood out to me about the book I read previously, was just how well she wrote. And so, anyways, this is the second book. It follows Daniel, and he's the brother of Jesse, and he's actually fighting for the Confederates, if you can't tell from his uniform. And I'm sure he probably ends up falling for a Union girl. So always it's like a star-crossed lovers theme, and I'm not sure exactly how it's gonna go, what the trope is essentially, but we know we'll have an HAA with this one, which would be great. So I would love to continue with this series, and it's a definite possibility. Okay, so the next one is read 2 books in the same series. This is the hardest prompt, would be the hardest prompt for me to complete, because I don't read fast. I can barely get through 1 book in a series in a month. So to get through 2 would be wild. The only way I could do that is through audiobooks. And so the one that would complete that would be if I picked up Slightly Tempted by Mary Balog, which is number 4 in the Bedouin Saga series. So I could pick this one up directly after finishing Slightly Scandalous, which I'm reading right now, listening to. These are very readily available to me on Libby. I have never had to really wait too long for them. So it wouldn't be bad if I really did want to try to complete this prompt to just pick up the next one. I am very eager to get to the final book in this series, because the final book is Wulfric's story, and Wulfric is the main, he's the heir, he's the duke, and it's all of his siblings are falling in love all over the place, right? And he is a very stern, stubborn, doesn't seem to ever want romance kind of guy. And so this whole series, I'm just like, I need to know what happens to him and who he falls in love with and how his love story goes. And I'm sure that's why Mary ended up waiting till the very end of the series to have his story, because it's going to be iconic. I just know it. So anyways, to get closer to that final book would be great, and also enjoy my time as I go. So this would be the one that could complete that prompt if I really pushed myself. And then the final prompt in the series, or this readathon, is read your newest purchase that's part of a series. So I actually received from my Amazon wish list a book in a series, and so I know I didn't purchase this necessarily, but it is the most recent book I have received that is a part of a series. It is the start of a series though, but I was very, very flattered and so thankful for this lovely present, so I thought I would kind of just shout it out and share with you guys a book that I'm very excited about. It was given to me by Kelsey. I won't share your last name, but it was given to me by Kelsey. I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much. It is called The Fire Blossom by Sarah Lark. Look how thick this book is and so floppy. I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So let me read the back of this book. This is the start of the first book in a trilogy, I believe. Let me read the back. A new land, an epic journey. It's 1837, and immigrating to a small New Zealand fishing village is an opportunity for Ida Lange's family to build a better future. Yet for Ida, raised in a strict, religious, tight-knit German community, so much is still forbidden to a woman. Yearning for the Power Day laborer she shared books with as a child, Ida is now trapped in a dire marriage to a man of her father's choosing. For Kat, who came of age in New Zealand under brutal conditions, life in the colonies hasn't been easy. Through a strange turn of events, she is adopted by a native Maori tribe, and she begins to thrive. But when she challenges the traditions of her tribe, she's banished and left once again to rely on the only person she can trust with her future, herself. When fate brings Ida and Kat together, they recognize in each other a kindred spirit. Out of common ground grows an enduring friendship that will not be broken by the hardships of the plains, threats from the past, or the trials of family and heartache. What they'll discover is the depth of their own strength and resilience as they get nearer to the freedom they desire and demand, and their journey is just beginning. It sounds so good. So yes, a female friendship-centered novel set in 1837 in New Zealand. A very unique setting, one I've never read in actually. So I know it would just be a huge learning experience for me as well. And I'm just so excited about the length. I love a thick book. So yes, I thought I would share this as my most recent purchase, or I just kind of just treated it as the most recent book that's been acquired by me. So anyways, yes, very excited about this, and thank you so much, Kelsey. Let me know if you guys have even heard of this book. I haven't before I put it on my wish list as one I wanted, because I actually was going through Goodreads and it was a book that was recommended to me, and sometimes they just stand out for some reason, and I read the prompt, the plot for it, and thought it sounded amazing. So yeah, I added it to my wish list, and here we are. So yeah, this is the last and final book I'm talking about in this video. But yeah, I have all of these books strewn all over the place on my ottoman over here. But I am so excited for this readathon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Sarah and Krista, for hosting. And yes, please let me know down below if there's a book you particularly think I should prioritize, or if you are participating in Serious September, what books you want to read. Would love to hear. But with all that being said, please like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye.